Hello traders, it's weekend. Another time, another opportunity to learn. Okay, so what do we have? Um, Today we are going to start with the major currencies and what we have in terms of the Elliott wave and also the structural aspect of it. Okay, and what we have. So let's look at what we have here. We have the strong buy. Okay, which started from here. This very strong, beautiful candle here, which generated from this strong bullish candle here. All right, so after this capitulation, okay, in the market, we had this low week candle here. Okay, and since then, the bulls jumped into the market with such excitement, pushing price back into this key area here. So we will just have to quickly draw the lines and then see what we have. This was the structure in the market previously. Okay, and for last week, we had this candle coming up to testing this zone. Okay, but couldn't really make much of a break. Okay, couldn't really do much of stuff inside of the area. Um, we're beginning to see what looks like a push down. Okay, all right, what looks like a push down, but personally, in my own opinion, I don't believe whatever I'm saying here because we have first we have this strong volume here. We have this strong volume here, bearish volume here. But let's look at the composition. We had this strong bullish candle, okay, and we had increase in volume, okay, from this 1, 2, 3 candles which showed exhaustion. Okay, so we had these three bullish candles which showed exhaustion, and we could say that this whatever happened here, um, the bulls have gone out the market, and but I would say not really completely because I'm not really looking at this say coming down into this structure, okay, from here right down to here in a hurry, because we have lots of volume inside of here. Okay, we had there was a decrease in volume, okay, inside of here, and this decrease in volume we was expecting to see a massive drop from here. Okay, we're expecting to see a massive drop from here, but the BS could not take price, all right, down from this very area. So this is an area which we will look to consider in the future, okay? We'll look to consider this area in the future. So if we could expect a bounce up down to this zone, we could expect that the volume actually started dropping. Okay, we actually saw that drop in volume, and this very big candle here, the bearish one, okay, couldn't really take price down, okay, initially. So we could expect that the bulls are still in the market because we had volume growing massively here. We also have this big bearish candle here. So let's go to the daily time frame to see how this is structured on the daily time frame and how those volume are actually structured. One of the things to identify from a wave point of view is that we had this with 1, 2, 3, which could this could be 4, and this could be subdivided into A, B, C, D, and this could be our E, and price then explode to the upside. So one of the things we could look to do, we will look to complete the ABC pattern. Okay, instead of here, we'll look to complete the A, B, maybe C pattern of some sort, thereby trapping traders, okay, in this region, okay, that we want to sell back to here to get up their positions, okay, and then we would continue to buy to the upside. Why do I want to say that? First, I spoke about this from the monthly time frame that whatever is happening now with the Aussie USD, okay, is already complete because here we had our wave 4, so we could expect that this would be our wave 5, and we could expect that Aussie USD should start inside of this area to make pushes to the upside, okay? We should expect that, and definitely for there to be sellers, there must be buyers to actually buy in the selling market, all right? So that is what we would want to start looking at and how to start setting up a trading plan also to get to our destination where we want to see, because after this 5 wave move down, we could expect at least an ABC, all right? You can expect ABC maybe back into maybe this zone, okay? So, but that we will not know because also but we want to set up a trading plan to actually start doing that which you want to do. But overall, I'm being asked most times, where do you want to start taking your profits if you are going long? This is an area where I want to take profit on the longer term. Okay, why this? Because this was where I found lots of volume, and we had lots of volume spikes in here, and this area too was also where we found lots of volume. So we will look to take our profits inside of this area in the long term. Okay, in the long term, not so soon, but in the longer term. We're looking at this week, but that will not really interest us. Okay, but that will not really interest us. So we'll be looking at how we can set up to get into where we want to be. So let's go back to the weekly time frame and see where we are and how we want to set up for a trading plan, and also making a decision as to how we want to get involved on this trade. Okay, so what we want to do is that we would try to get involved in a sell trade, okay, back into this structure, because this was where the last volume or liquidity zone. Okay, so we will then look to take advantage, because one of the things we have seen is that whatever happened here, okay, with this candle here, okay, have actually come into testing this structure. Okay, this structure here is being tested because this was what we wanted to see first, and we have this strong rejection from this structure here. So what I will look to have this week will be that the bulls should try to come in, okay, from this area, trying to push price, okay, back into this top here. Okay, why do I want to say that? A lot of questions. I want to see that the bulls can then push price back into this top, because we expected price to have broken out from here, okay, last week, but that did not happen. So we're looking at seeing the bulls, okay, trying to push price back, because they have indeed started doing that which we want to see. Okay, let's see the candle composition. Okay, let's see the candle composition quickly and what we have. Okay, all right. So we had this bearish candle here, okay, and we had that volume started decreasing. Okay, volume started decreasing, and there was a massive sell inside of here, and volume started decreasing here into this zone. Okay, and we had this next volume, okay, this next candle actually pushing up price, okay, back into this new high. Okay, so what we want to do in the current week, okay, which we're about to enter, we will be looking for opportunities to buy the Aussie USD, okay, back at least into this zone. Okay, why do you want to do that? Why I want to do that is because we have a setup. Okay, we have a setup, and it's one that is really in play. Okay, we have a setup, and we need to confirm that with the candle. Okay, we need to confirm that with the candle, and how everything will look. One of the things we need to see will be, we have started seeing that sellers, okay, that actually got in from here, this candle here, because initially they got in from here, this very candle here, okay, this candle, we saw this massive volume. We had this massive volume too. We had this massive volume too in the candle here, and this activated this sell. So let's go down to the H1 to see how this candle fared on the H1. On the H1, we had it that there was a massive volume inside of here, okay? But so far, that did not take price below this structure, okay? So the only time that price broke below this structure was after testing the whole of this, and then market then broke below. So from that point on, we had that massive sell back into this zone. So we are going to use that to advantage as well into pushing price, okay, in the current week back into this structure here, which we want to see, because this is where we want to overall take our profit at the 0.72800. Okay, we had a buy trade inside of here, and we hopped out of here in last week. Okay, so we want to buy back from this zone because this is a good buying opportunity, and if it would attract the bulls, okay, in the market to actually get involved, we will also look to capitalize on that too in order to pushing price back into the area. Okay, so one of the things we could clearly identify too is that there was a massive volume here. Okay, massive volume here, but look at the volume inside of here. Okay, the volume inside of here was low. Okay, was such a low volume. Okay, low volume, and the bulls got back into the market. Okay, so this actually prompted that the bulls have taken over. Okay, and we want to see confirmation. So let's go down to the lower time frame. Okay, the lower time frame, we will then look to capitalize on that information. Okay, so one of the areas which we look to take profit or take an entry for a trade will be this candle here. Okay, so we look at this candle here, and the half wick of this candle or the half body here will be where we'll look to get involved. Okay, we'll look to get involved on the buy trade in this candle here. So we'll expect a little bit of a push down. Okay, then on the breakout of this structure, we will put up a pending order on the breakout, and we will buy this pair. Then our risk will be on the even number. Okay, the last area of volume will be at the 6,800, which was the all-time low. Okay, at the 6,800, and we will target our take profit 1, and we also target our take profit 2. A lot of times people ask me, why do I want to take profit there? Someone asked me yesterday, which I spoke with them, that I want to take my final profit here. And why I want to do that is because overall, this was where the massive sold was. So if we will get a reaction inside of this area to sell back into this area here, which we want to see, it should be inside of the area, because we didn't have so much of an effort. Okay, we didn't have so much of an effort inside of here. Okay, so when price got here, price then started decreasing in volume. Okay, we can see that there was a decrease in volume inside of here, decrease in volume. All right, so you want to see the price accelerating, okay, inside of this area. So we did not see this break when we wanted to see, because this was also a structure here. So we had price slowing down. So we want to look at how we can take our entry for next week, that if we could have another push back into this zone, okay, we'll look to buy inside of this area and then wait for a break above this structure for a target to the upside. So only when that happens, we will now enter a trade, and then our risk will be down here and our profit will be up there. So let's look at the USD JPY, what we have from the USD JPY, and how we can set up for a trading plan for next week. Currently, price is around such a very key area here, because since when we had this massive candle here, and everything have really gone sideways. I would like to use that word sideways for now. And one of the things we could see that we initially I spoke about this candle here. Okay, this candle here, because this was a very strong indecision candle, up and down. Okay, up and down, and we had a price came into testing this area and then rejected the area. So where would we expect price to hop up? We expect price to at least end here, or at the least end within these two areas. Why these two areas? This was a week. Okay, this was a week of the month of March. Okay, or the week of the month of March, and this was a clear structure too in the market. So we have it that this was tested, okay, and price couldn't break below, and then bulls took price up, maybe reaction from this volume here, took price up back into testing this high, and we could see that this high, okay, actually stalled price, and price did not move above the structure. So where will we expect to get involved, you'll be inside of these two areas. Okay, inside of these two areas here, because this was also an area 2. Okay, so let's go down to the weekly time frame and see what we have in the weekly time frame and how we can set up for a trading plan and also plan to start getting involved for a trade. So here we have it that at the moment we are here. Okay, we have it at the moment that we are here, and we had that price broke above this area. So we'll look at the composition of this area here and how we can get involved. We had that whosoever try to push price from here, okay, we had this bearish candle, and we had that the bulls were still involved in the market and tried to push price back, but couldn't close above this structure. And that was the structure which the bears actually started coming to the market. So we are going to look to apply what looks phenomenal too. Here we have this big bearish candle. Okay, we have this big bearish candle. Okay, we have this big bearish candle, and we can see the volume starting to increase. Okay, bigger than the previous bullish volume. So we will look to get involved here. So we look to get involved here. Okay, so we need some push. Okay, because the last time we had this bullish engulf inside of this area, so this was a very key area, and that's why we have started seeing some bit of rejection inside of this area, because the bulls got into the market inside of here. Okay, we are starting to see some rejection inside of this area. Okay, because the bulls got involved inside of this area, and when do we start getting involved? We're not be getting involved in the buy. So let's go to daily time frame and see what we have from daily time frame and how we can start getting involved from the daily time frame. Okay, from daily time frame, we had a very strong rejection of this area. Okay, which if I was to have taken a buy trade, because overall I don't want to take a buy trade, but taking a buy trade, let's see what our risk reward would have been. Our low would have been inside this area, and our take profit would have been here. So this would have been a 2.5 risk to reward trade. Wow, would have been a good trade. But overall, we have this rejection. Okay, this was an area which we wanted to take profit from this high. Okay, initially, and we have it that price then broke below. Okay, so we have it that whatever happened here, okay, would then look for reasons to start going up back into this structure. So this is an area which you want to start selling from back into here. So let's look at in terms of risk to reward, if it will be a good trade to take. Let's see, in terms of risk to reward, it would be a good trade. So this will be a high. We don't like marking our positions on the odd numbers. Okay, we like even numbers. So 110, 100. Our take profit will be inside of this area. So this would be a 1:2.6 risk to reward trade. Okay, so 104. Okay, so we'll just take our profits inside of there, because this was also a key structure too in the market. Here we had this rejection, so we could expect that price should bounce off here if it wants to look for new direction. So in the week to come, we'll look for some sort of reactions that could push price back into here. So that's what we'll look at in the week to come. So from the H4, what do we see? Do we see an entry? Okay, we have an entry, and we have it that there was a great deal of spike in volume. Okay, there was this strong rejection up here. Okay, the bulls tried to push market and the price up here, but then market closed below here, and then they still try to the BA tried to send market below, and had a close, okay, back above. Okay, so this was a very strong bullish candle. Okay, strong volume inside of here, very strong volume inside of here, and we would believe that whatever happened here, that whosoever got in here have left the market. Okay, and this would push price back into where? Into this zone. So we look at this zone for price to be pushed back. That should be between Monday, Tuesday. Okay, so we look at price pushing down from this high back into this zone. Okay, that's what we're going to look at in the week to come. So let's see the H1, what we have from the H1 and how we can set up from the H1. Let's go back to the H4 first before we can set up for the H1. If one would want to take a sell trade from this setup, would take a sell trade inside of here, here, okay, because this big volume, and you could see a very small volume to price to close below for the very first time. So had we found a very massive volume here, a very massive volume here, we wouldn't have got involved in the sell trade. Okay, had we found a very massive volume here after this big volume, we wouldn't have been involved because definitely it would be the market makers getting involved in the trade. So the areas which they want to start getting involved will be inside of this area because this will be a liquidity zone. So we could look at price, maybe trying to come in here, break, okay, break below, and we could trap people that want to sell in here, and they could then push price back up to finishing whatever they started. That's what we want to see. So from the structurally, where do we start getting involved for a short trade? If you take a short trade for traders that can't really wait, we'll look to take a short trade inside of this area here. At least this candle here. So we could look at these two candles here from the swing. Look at the wick. Okay, so the wick would be at the rejection zone here, and for this bearish candle, we'll look at this area. So we'll look at these two key areas here. So from the H1, what do we have? From the H1, we have it that we have price back into this structure. So we want to see, we could see a reduction in the volume. Okay, we could see volume from the H1 dropping massively, but definitely price is still making lows. Okay, so we can see reduction in volume. Okay, so probably what we look to see, or what we could expect, that maybe the bulls will try to get in. Okay, and some traders may try to get in from here to push up. Okay, and definitely maybe on a Monday, then they will be trapped on a Monday, all right, thereby selling their positions. Okay, or it's just the market makers trying to manipulate the market. But however, trading is all about probability and possibility. So I would say if one should want to take a sell trade here, risk would be let's see, we have 107,600. Take profit would be inside of this area. What kind of trade would this be? 1 is to 2.9 risk reward trade. Wow, that might be a good trade. Might just be a good trade. Okay, just be a good trade. You never know. Okay, so that's what we think of the USD Okay, so what do we have next? We look at the pound USD. At the moment, pound is at the moment quite we'll use the word crazy. Okay, we had a lot of sales. Okay, we had a lot of selling. Okay, from the pound, but also notice. Let me put up something to notice here. We had this strong bearish candle, which overall started from here. Okay, because all these things started down up from here. Okay, this candle here, because this was what gave everything away, and we had this strong spike in volume also. Okay, so that the bulls got in here at the market and hopped out of here. So we could expect that wherever, okay, wherever the bulls got off initially, okay, traders were trapped in here, okay, because they actually did start seeing a breakout. So some closed their position, okay, here, and we had this sell back into here. Let's look at it from the monthly time frame. Then we can go down to analyzing then we look at something quite phenomenal here. And what I expect to see of the market would be the market at least testing the zone. Why do I want to see price testing the zone? Because looking at this very candle here, we had this massive volume here. So we're always concerned with the massiveness in the volume because that's what we want to see. Okay, apart from the Elliott setup, we have this structure here. I expect that the market should bounce off here, at least first, before then going back down. Okay, I expect that because this would be overall our target area for a drop. Okay, this would be our target area for a drop. If the market would bounce off here and drop back into here, so this would be a target area too for a drop. Okay, so this would be our TP also for a drop. But this massive volume here, it's not one to be ignored. This massive volume, we have this massiveness in volume. Okay, and we also identify that here we had this cool volume, okay, but not really one that could give everything up. Okay, so we have last month we have almost a similar volume. Okay, and we had markets circulating around that. Volume, this massive volume. Okay, so the BS got out of the market. Whatever sold inside of here got out of here, got out. So we had price then truncate back and then try to go back to get some momentum. So overall, we want to sell, but we can also buy back into the sell zone. Okay, so from the 50 time frame, what do we have? Last week we had, remember we have this structure here. Okay, we have this strong structure here in the market of the 1.2500, and we have the market price coming into testing this area one more time, and which is also the half, also in the area of the here, also the area of the half body. So you got to apply the half body structure here, or set up almost in the area of the half body here. So we use the blue line. So we had that price, then came in here with such great volume to bounce off. So we need to look at that carefully. The bulls got into the market here, okay, here instead of here. So we need to wait to see clear confirmation that they're out from the market, because overall we want to buy into targeting this structure. So they are still in the market. They are still in the market. They're still in the business. So we want to have confirmation between Monday, Tuesday that they will be out of the market, and then we could look to buy back into here. So they are still in the market, and they are very strong in the market at the moment because this was a massive volume. Okay, so massive volume pushed low close. Okay, so low down bar here, and then they send price back into here. So we'll need to see between Monday and Tuesday what will happen inside of this area. But from the H4, what do we have from the H4? From the H4, what do we have? We have it that price is currently trading below this structure. Okay, below this structure now. So we could look to see price maybe get involved, come in here, then people could start selling, okay, below, and then price would then find its way back up, thereby trapping sellers that did start to sell inside of here, and we could be back up here. And on the retest, we could look to continue buying the euro, the pound USD up to where we want to see our final target. So this could be market makers trying to push price, or could be price indeed going down on its own, but that we do not know. But we have this massive volume that was on Friday. Okay, the last session, or the last H4 candle closed massively. So we had this massive push, but that could not push price to breaking above this structure. So that we do not know, but we only have this massive push. So we're going to look at it critically on the week to come. If price could then break above this structure, then we will be on the H4 or on the D1 to see how that would react on Monday. Okay, so next we'll be looking at the USD CHF. This was also quite phenomenal and in its own making. um quite phenomenal on making, and we made some wrong choices too. But the only choice we did not make wrongly was our final destination. Okay, our final destination, we spoke about this before. Our entry was wrong. We spoke about this, that we want to see this week. Same situation we have with the USDJPY. Want to see the half week being filled. So we have it that it is filled already. So we could start having some push back into the half week is being filled. So we could start having some push back into liquidity zone. Okay, so this was the last liquidity zone because this was where volume happened. So we can then look to see price made a push back into this zone. So we'll just mark up the zone now, and we expect price to then move back into this zone from this rejection. So let's see what we have here. From the weekly time frame, what do we have? We had that price came down here, but closed above. So this was also where we wanted to see. We spoke about from the monthly time frame. This was a liquidity zone. That we did not know what to expect at the moment because overall everything looks crazy. So let's go down to the D1 to see what we have from the D1. Whatever sold here, okay, whoever sold here, but this volume here, this volume was massive. This volume in here was massive, and we had this rejection. It was a very massive volume. We had this rejection, and look at the small volume here. If this massive volume created this rejection and took price down here, okay, so we expected that the sellers got out. So whoever was selling to target this extreme is trapped. It's trapped. Selling to target that extreme is trapped at the moment. It's trapped. So what do we expect? We could expect some bit of retest, maybe inside of the area here. So let's see the H4, what we have from the H4. That is not displaying on our screen. On Friday, the last, the closing of that session was, the last H4 candle was such an eye opener. Okay, so we could expect that price should then fall below here. Okay, fall back into maybe this structure in order to find liquidity to go back up. So price could fall below this structure to find liquidity to go back up, and that would give us a cool trade. That will give us a cool trade. We can decide to take a risk. Okay, we can decide to take a risk, and we'll be at below the structure. Then our target would be here, 1 to 2.6 risk to reward trade. Okay, wow, it's still a good trade. And that would be what we could expect for a Monday. So we need the price to come in back here into this zone, then we could look to long back into the zone. Okay, let's look at the CHF-JPY. What I expected of the CHF-JPY was a bounce inside of here, but we can see that price is starting to flow. Okay, why do I expect that bounce? Let's quickly get this done from the daily time frame. Daily time frame, we had it that price broke below the structure. But before that break, let's look at before the break, what happened. Now, we had it that this candle here, okay, this candle here was small, okay, that which means it signifies that people started to sell. People started to sell because a lot of selling happened here. A lot of selling happened here, okay, before this structure here, before this resistance. A lot of selling happened here, and you can see that you can see that in the massiveness of the volume, okay, massiveness of the volume here started selling, All right, and they try to sell back to this structure here for a retest, and which that did not happen. So the bulls then took over the market and pushed price. Look at the effort. Okay, let's zoom in to look at the effort. Okay, look at this small effort here. Okay, as compared to this. So here we had this very first push, to which sellers try to sell because of this structure here, try to sell, okay, and they were trapped. Also, this happened and they were trapped. Second time. So they got off the market. They were tired, said, okay, I cannot take it anymore. I want to wait for an opportunity. Then we could expect that if they got out of here, they will want to start buying just right away. They want to start buying right away. And we could see, starting to see massiveness in the volume inside of here. We could see massiveness in the volume here. Okay, they got out, and also here. So people that try to little amount of sellers or people that try to sell here because of this structure sold here, and they started panicking. Okay, they started panicking and they got out of here. Actually, personally, I panicked. All right, I panicked personally because I got out of the trade and I hopped out of here. I panicked as well. So I don't want to basically say I wasn't part of the team that actually panicked here. So I panicked as well. So one of the areas we want to look at technically, okay, would be this area here. Here we want to look at technically, okay, technically we want to look at this area, and we have this massiveness in volume. Okay, so after this massiveness in the volume here, the bullish volume, seller then came into the market, pushed price, okay, back into here, which the sellers applied, or we applied the half wick strategy, or the half body here, which this was our entry for a sell, and back into here. So now we are here, but I have reasons to believe that a lot of activities happened inside of here and not here. So we'll be looking at some other things inside of this small area rather than the upper boundaries. We're looking at the lower boundaries now to look at reactions inside of here. So if we'll be taking a buy trade, we'll be looking to take a buy trade inside of here, because the idea is to trap people into letting go of their position in order for the pro traders to make money. Okay, so if you're a professional trader, you understand this. So we want to buy only inside of this zone, and if you're buying here, we will look to target this zone. Okay, we'll look to take profit here because this was the last liquidity zone. So this would be a 1:6.2 risk reward trade. Okay, so this would be 1:6 risk reward trade, and it will still be a good trade. Okay, so that will still be a good trade. Technically, to be a good trade technically, because looking at everything looks cool. So it will be a good trade to take inside of here. Okay, and will not be around the 700, so it will be below. So it will be around the 10600. Okay, so this will be a 1:4.5 risk reward trade. So that will be a good trade. And if that happens, so I know sellers got off the market. Okay, people that actually sold here got off the market, and we had price then. The next candle was small, but the reaction here compared to volume was not the same. So we would have that if people sold here, okay, and then start giving up their positions, the strongholders will still be involved, and then whoever will be buying here, okay, we're waiting for this breakout. We want to take opportunity, the breakout, and sell, and then the strongholders here will now sell to them, okay, now sell to them, and they'll be buying from the strongholders here. So price will just bounce off here and then get back up here and then move up. We could expect that. I could be wrong, I could be right. So I don't need to say I'm a god. We could expect that, but from the weekly time frame, what do we have? Let's see where we could expect a bounce. We never really had that test. Okay, we never have really had that test of the half week, so we could expect that our TP1 would be there and our TP2 will be here. Okay, so this will be our TP2. So let's just quickly mark this. So this could be our TP2. We never have really had that test, so we'll just go back and then expect that test. So this would be our TP1, and this could be our TP2. So this would be a 1 to 6.3 weeks reward trade from where I am. But overall, if we could have a push, okay, maybe early in the week, maybe it's a reasonable area, then we could look at the volume and then try to make some meaning of it. But overall, it would be a very crazy trade to take. The next trade we'll be taking next week, okay, will be the pound NZD. The pound NZD here quite looked astonishing. Okay, we could let's go down to weekly time frame, probably Monday time frame, see what we have. Okay. A lot of times I hear questions like, mentor, what do you want to do? How do you think? I would say this is quite different a little bit in analysis because this was first push retracement, and this was massive. Okay, this was massive. Whoever got in here got out, and you can see that how they applied initially the trading strategy. Okay, so personally, I wouldn't have gotten involved if I was taking a trade from here because, okay, this was massive. So I would have gotten involved in here. I mean, I would have gotten involved after the bounce, the expected bounce up here, and if that rejected, I would have gotten involved down here. Okay, I would have gotten involved because of this week here. As the buy would have hopped up here, and as the break back below the week, I would have hopped in here back below here, so that would have taken me back into here. But that notwithstanding, we want to look at what we have. What do we have? What do we have? What do you have? What do you have? We have price back into this structure here because this was the key structure. So this could have been, okay, like we spoke about, the A, B, and the C. Okay, that was what we spoke about. And this was also could have been our ABC, ABC. Okay, so we could have price, then reject or move back up to our final area, which we want to see. So let's just quickly get this out of the way. 61.8 Fibonacci level, and we have it that price is actually currently trading inside of that area. So if we might have a break below, that will be an issue we want to discuss later. So let's see what we have here. We have started having this increase in volume, from here. Okay, this massive increase because lots of traders looked at this structure. Okay, they looked at this structure, and once there was a confirmed breakout, everybody got involved, and that volume started increasing. So this was the highest volume, and we have it that volume has started decreasing for the years. Okay, we have this decrease in volume, and it also reflected with the candle which we had. So we could say that there is decrease in volume, but that doesn't mean that there is demand. We are not finding demand yet in the market, so that is quite something we are not really happy about. That was for last week, so we could expect that this week we might start seeing some demand, because if demand is what would then take the market up, but if we don't have a demand, all right, price may just currently start falling by default, okay, because of no demand into an area which would be reasonable enough for demand to come in. So we could start looking decrease. Okay, we could still see further decrease, but that we do not know, okay, because of no demand. Okay, so not that because of selling pressure, but because of no demand, because at the moment the selling pressures are getting out of the market, so that's getting out of the market, and everything is starting to happen here. Okay, so let's see from the D1 what we have and how we can start formulating a trading plan. So from the D1, we had this strange demand here, okay, one price hit here, and there was this massive demand, okay, this massive demand, okay, there was this massive demand, and On Friday, okay, we waited for, on Thursday, we actually took a trade here. And by the time that happened, we took a trade here and we moved a little bit and we were trapped back because I did not set my trail stop. Okay, so now I am back into the area. Okay, so what I want to do would be to apply the half brick strategy here, which is already in place. So I will be looking to apply the half body strategy here, rather here, and we had that price have started moved below. Market have then moved below, okay, the body, so could be on its way into testing this previous structure here. Okay, it could be on its way into testing this previous structure here. And I don't know if that would be cool, but it could just be on its way into testing that previous structure. I don't know if it will be a cool situation, that I do not know. So, but if we could see a test and a break above, we can look to for retracement, and then we can look to continue going up. But where will be our target? We will target this area here, okay, because this was where volume was last found. Okay, there was a massiveness in volume here, okay, which they try to push price back up, but this area held price perfectly. So we can expect to push price back into the structure and also this structure here. So this would be a trade we will take if there will be a breakout. We'll try to go long above here. Okay, we'll try to go long above here. Our risk will now be here, and we will target this zone. So this would be a 1. Okay, we'll target this zone first. That's almost 1:3 risk reward trade. So we'll target that zone first, and also we'll target this zone next. Okay, so that will be what we want to be doing by next week if we have a reaction. So we need price to come in there and then go out of there. From the H4, what do we have? We have that price is currently trading inside of here. Okay, so we could, if we could have maybe above, then on the retest, we could look to go long. Okay, so we could look to do that by next week, targeting this zone. So we got involved here and we were trapped here. So the initial buyers could have been trapped here and they would get let go their positions. Okay, so then the bulls would just coming back. If that will happen, we'll definitely see with the price actions and everything in the market. We then need to see, we're not expecting to see a massive volume. Okay, we're not expecting to see a massive, because this was actually a massive volume here, okay, which pushed price below here. So we're not expecting to see a massive volume at the beginning of the trading week. So we're expecting to see a very small volume, but price then moving up with that small volume by next week. Okay, so that's all the pay we have for today. And before we wrap it up, let's just go into explaining or looking at the Euro USD first before we then wrap it up. For the Euro USD, we expected to see an ABC, which we have started to see, but at the moment we cannot be involved in a trade until after a break above this structure here. So we're looking at a break above this structure, and once that could happen, we will then look to be involved on the retest of this candle here. So we'll look to involve on the retest of this candle here. So this is what we're looking to do, that if somehow price can break above here on the retest, we will look to buy the Euro USD back into this structure here. So that's what we want to be seeing for next week, and that would be a massive trade. The massive trade, that will be risk will be here, and our reward will be here. So that will be massive, 3.69. That will be massive trade. So that's what we have for our pre-market session. I hope you enjoyed yourself and remain blessed. See you next week.